Have you ever wondered what it's like living in Northwest Arkansas, day by day, hour by hour? What it's actually like living here directly? Today we're covering just that, but putting a little spin to it. We're doing the Bentonville edition. So, let's talk about that. Hey everybody! If you don't know who I am, my name is Phillip Shepard. I'm a local real estate agent located right here in Northwest Arkansas. If you weren't aware, I actually was a real estate broker located in the dumpster fire, the horrible, the no good state of Illinois, the worst. Anyways, I could have moved anywhere I wanted to in America. I could have moved to Asheville, I could have moved to Utah, I could have moved to Colorado, I could have moved to Texas, I could have moved anywhere I wanted to in America. But I chose Northwest Arkansas, and it is by far the best place to live in America, literally by far. If you ever want to talk about why I chose Northwest Arkansas versus anywhere else in America, call me, email me, whatever it is. We can meet up for coffee and talk about, again, why I chose Northwest Arkansas, again, anywhere else in America. Side note, if you are looking to reload to Northwest Arkansas, again, let me know right away. I help so many people every single year move from one state to Northwest Arkansas. My biggest vision, again, is helping as many people move here as possible to, again, the #1 place to live in America. All right, so yes, let's cover what it's like living a day in the life of someone who lives in and near Bentonville, Arkansas. And the first thing I'm going to cover, obviously, is the AM, the morning time, the crucial, all-important morning time for, obviously, early risers or potentially people who have jobs, of course, and kids, etc. So, obviously, that's kind of the big thing right there. The first thing that's when it comes to actually living in Bentonville or near Bentonville is just the amount of places that you can kind of either go to the gym, go to a climbing gym, climbing rocks, obviously, going to almost like Blake Street, which is more of like a members club, to coffee shops. There are so many ways to organize your morning in Bentonville, Arkansas. A lot of people in Bentonville, especially when it comes to the downtown section, end up riding their bikes, or some sort of alternative transportation to the downtown section to hang out. Grab a croissant, chocolate dipped is my preference. Croissant from Onyx, going to a different coffee shop, going to breakfast sometimes. There's obviously yoga there. There's a lot of other, obviously, those kind of early morning places around Bentonville. And not even the sense of like you have to be downtown to enjoy that. There's a lot of other businesses that you can, let's say, purvey that would be beneficial to you in the morning time. Bentonville is more of a, let's say, it's a workers' town. It's someone who goes to corporate, Walmart or J.B. Hunter Tyson or one of the big other corporations here. And we, obviously that's where we meet our friends a lot of times. We're not drinking in the morning. That'd be kind of crazy. We are drinking coffee. We're hanging out, maybe socializing a little bit, getting things ready. But the nice thing when it comes to Bentonville is just the ability to kind of make it as you want to when it comes to the morning. Some people have to, drive a little bit. Some people only have to ride their bike to work. Regardless of those things, oftentimes people are riding their bikes to work, grabbing their favorite coffee, a croissant along the way, stopping to doing yoga, stopping at Blake Street, stopping at kind of a workout center, essentially like a gym, obviously, and then going right to work. The other fun part of all this that I'm kind of missing, leaving out, is when it comes to actually working at Walmart. Anyone that works at Walmart or / has family, obviously has family, they have access to basically the huge healthcare facilities and gyms of Walmart, and they are spectacular. So it is becoming more common for people to ride their bikes to work, hit the gym, hit the Olympic-sized pools, hit all the things inside of that in the massive health arena for Walmart, and then go right to work. And so that is becoming more of a common trend here in Bentonville, is just going right from there to ride your bike to there, to the coffee shops, to the restaurants that actually exist inside of Walmart. It's really becoming its own little, let's say, mini city inside of a city. Inside of an area. Oh, there you go. But regardless, if you don't work at Walmart, that's okay. There's plenty of other things that you can do to have a successful morning in Bentonville, Arkansas. And the second thing we need to talk about when it comes to day-to-day living in Bentonville, Arkansas is going to be the most obvious thing that takes a lot of our time is work. Now, you probably already picked up on this, but there's a larger company here named Walmart and J.B. Hunt and Tyson and all the adjacent companies to all those different companies. So a lot of people work for those companies. There's a lot of startups in Bentonville as well. But even on top of that, there's a lot of remote workers here as well. There's a lot of co-working spaces. There's a lot of coffee shop spaces. There's a lot of Walton back entrepreneurship seed funding spaces, essentially. That you can, if you have a business, you're trying to get it off the ground, they have spaces for you. So there's a lot of those kind of, we'll say, get together community focused things in Bentonville or near Bentonville as well. So when it comes to work, obviously, it is one aspect that I find fascinating with work here in Northwest Arkansas is comparison to Chicago, because that's my biggest, obviously, correlation there, is in Northwest Arkansas, there are so many things to do outside of work that people end up, including managers and all the different higher ups, will end up leaving work around 5 or 6 or sometimes like that kind of time frame. Whereas in Chicago, it's like there's nothing to do outside half the time because it's either extremely cold or dark. And so you're like, well, what's the point? I might as well work. So a lot of times you end up working later in Chicago, and then here it's like, hey, we all have families, we all have friends, we all have things to do. Why don't we should all leave work at 5 or 5:30 and then go enjoy the things that we want to do outside of work. That includes all the things I'm talking about in the future. But again, work works a little differently here than oftentimes especially coming from larger cities. Obviously, Walmart is a large company, so it has what that has going for it. But it's not like Austin. It's not like the endless grind of everything. You get to be able to enjoy the outdoors. You get to be able to enjoy so many different amenities of the Bentonville area. And everyone wants to do that. That's why they moved here. That's why they grew up here. Or that's why they keep obviously living here. And they want to enjoy those things specifically, so they end up leaving work at an appropriate time versus working all through the night. So that is one aspect of work I find very fascinating when it comes to Northwest Arkansas. Whoa, 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 whoa. I made something for you. I made something called 3-day itineraries. So maybe you're looking to take a trip down here, maybe looking to check out the whole area, checking to see if it's for you, maybe you're just checking out just vacations. I made 3-day itineraries, like literally day by day, restaurant by restaurant, thing by thing, everything when it comes to Northwest Arkansas. So basically you have a full-on plan of what to do when you roll into town. So maybe you're a adventurer, maybe you're a sports person, maybe you're a foodie, maybe you're a sightseer, maybe you have kids, whatever it is. I have 3-day itineraries linked down below for you. So go ahead and download them and use them when you get down here. Also, you might be using things like Realtor.com, Zillow.com, or Redfin. Way too slow. Notifications, way too slow. That's why I made something called Instant Home Updates. Sounds exactly what it is. Literally, it's Instant Home Updates. So enter information below: name, bedrooms, bathrooms, square footage. Where do you want to move to in Northwest Arkansas? Enter all the information below and make sure to miss a single notification when it comes for home for sale or for rent, all in Northwest Arkansas. Also, every single Friday, I send an email out just talking about all the cool things happening in Northwest Arkansas. What's going on downtown Bentonville? What's going on First Fridays? When is First Thursdays? What's going on in Fayetteville? What new buildings are coming to Springdale? What new things are going on in Rogers? When's the soccer? There are so many things all the time. Enter your email below. I make sure you get that email every single Friday, but I need you to be aware. I need you to do a heads up. You will get a little fear of missing out, a little, we'll say FOMO, so to speak, but I promise you will be the most informed person eventually when you make it down to Northwest Arkansas. And the third thing we need to cover when it comes to living day to day in Bentonville, Arkansas is going to be what happens after work. What are the things after work in general? And that's where Bentonville really does shine in, I would say, many ways. Reason being is because it has such a broad scope of what it can do. Bentonville is designed for families. It has First Fridays, so this is kind of the core idea, is what happens after work. There's so many events that happen in the downtown section of Bentonville. First Fridays, there's races, meaning like running races and bike races. There's always things on the square happening. There's farmers markets. There's all sorts of different things happening in the square. I would consider almost every single weekend. Momentary, just in the south end of Bentonville, is always having concerts. We have the Walmart Amphitheater, which is in Rogers technically, and there's always things going on there. Then we have obviously Crystal Bridges. There's breweries. There's so many hangout places in Bentonville, whether you want to hang out with your friends, your family, your kids, whatever. There's a little something for everybody. Now, the one thing that I do appreciate Bentonville is that, in comparison to Rogers, is that Bentonville's obviously butts up to Rogers, but there are actually a couple different things inside of like the edge of Rogers, Bentonville, that make it so much like that you can just go right across the border to Rogers. And obviously there's bowling alleys and go-karts and other different things happening in Rogers. We have obviously Topgolf. So just beyond the outskirts of Bentonville, there's so many other options as well. So again, the day-to-day things happening in Bentonville is so broad, from friends to family to kids to breweries to rock climbing to go-karts to not golfing, but Topgolf, to movie theaters, to this, to a museum, to Crystal Bridges, to Momentary. There are endless opportunities when it comes to just hanging out and getting together with friends outside of work in Bentonville. And that's a lot of it. What is the day-to-day things happening in Bentonville? And the fourth and final thing when it comes to day-to-day living in Bentonville, Arkansas, and this is where it all kind of comes together. There's a lot of things you can enjoy obviously outside of work on the weekdays in Bentonville. We know those things. But when it comes to the weekends, boy howdy does it shine. Meaning that obviously a lot of it's just wild that Bentonville's so alive during the week, but it really comes alive on the weekend. Starting Friday night, if there's a First Fridays, if the farmers market's upcoming, there's biking races happening, there's a 5K race happening, there's something going on at the Momentary, there's a new exhibit going on at Crystal Bridges, there's food trucks happening here. It is an endless amount of things happening in Bentonville. There's bikers going back and forth, I mean obviously road bikers hitting Slaughter Pen and all the trails in Bentonville. There's people coming down from Bella Vista to hit the trails. There are so many things happening, again, literally all the time in Bentonville. And so it is an endless opportunity of what to do on a weekend in Bentonville. You have to be pretty crazy to be bored in Bentonville. Let's say it that way. So keep that in mind, is that whether you are, you want to go to your favorite coffee shop that's serving, certain food groups on the morning time, or you want to go to a high-end sushi restaurant, or you want to go to the Ledger to work there for a little bit, potentially, or to work or just hang out there, the world's first bikeable building, or you want to go to the brand new Bentonville Library, or you want to go to Crystal Bridges, Momentary. I mean, there is a museum, crazy things all the time happening in Bentonville, Arkansas, especially on the weekends. So again, you'll never be bored in Bentonville, and if you are, seems like a you problem, not a Bentonville problem. All right, that's all I have for you guys today. Again, if you haven't been down to Northwest Arkansas quite yet, I made something called the NWA Starter Pack. Sounds exactly what it is, literally a starter pack full of all the cool things in Northwest Arkansas. It comes with a 120-page guide, literally made by me, of all the things happening in Northwest Arkansas. Population, demographics, schools, all the things you want to know about Northwest Arkansas, all the cool things happening, all the things right here, 120-page guide, comes right to your home. It comes with my 3-day itineraries, it comes with postcards, it comes with stickers. It comes with this handy dandy, you just get this for obvious reasons, the NWA coloring book, the coloring book, all right? This is just a trip and a half. I think I'm in here somewhere. Hold on. Oh, there I am. Ah. You need this. You want this. I will send this to you, I promise. Anyways, you definitely want the NWA Starter Pack. So it's literally a box shipped right to your home. Write your home. Enter your name below. Enter your address below. Make sure you get that package shipped to you right away. Box right to your home. Side note, it does come with your first free mountain bike, so that's pretty cool. And I know what you're thinking. It's my favorite folder F word. Free! So enter your information below. Make sure to get the package shipped to you right away. All right, guys, it's the next one.